Hello and welcome to Mgv Podcast. I'd like to start off this podcast with 3 disclaimers. Number 1, I have a cold, so discard if I sound a little bit different. Number 2, this is my first podcast on the second channel, so let me know what you guys think. And 3, I'm also recording this podcast for a project, so the formatting might be a little bit different. So, this one, number 1, I figured I'd start off with a very relevant topic, the struggles of YouTube. I'm going to start off this by giving a little history. My entire life on YouTube, I didn't grow up as one of those kids, like a lot of them I see today now, where you have an iPad or an iPhone or something in your hand when you're 2. I actually didn't get any electronic devices until I was 9, which still seems pretty young, but in this generation, that's a pretty big thing. When I was 9, I got an iPod 4th gen, and it just became a huge thing. I didn't really play with toys that much anymore, or go outside, because every time I would do something else, I kind of thought, man, this is fun and all, but I could do something more fun with this iPod, and it's kind of sad to think about. But I had a lot of good times before then. It's kind of strange how technology's been changing the way we grow up. That's a topic for a different podcast. Anyways, I discovered a app on there called YouTube, and it was just a crazy idea. I had known what YouTube was because my mom had a desktop, and sometimes she would let us watch a video or 2 on it. So I knew what YouTube was, and I was excited to finally have it. Minecraft was a really big thing, so I would watch a ton of that, and it just became a really big thing. I would learn a lot about YouTube. I'd learn about how there was comments, you could like and dislike, you could share videos, and back then, things were a lot different. You could actually make your own stuff. It would be showing up in recommended. I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, and so for, I would say, 3 or 4 years, probably 3, I strictly stayed on YouTube as a watcher, and I watched a ton of stuff. I watched my favorite channels rise and fall. And then after that, I discovered a whole new side of YouTube, which was creating content. And the first videos I made were very cringy and stupid, and when I look back on them, I wish that they didn't exist. But at the same time, it's kind of a nice feeling of, hey, I remember that. I remember that was the first introduction, and what I did is I had a first original channel, which had a very strange username, and you'll never find it unless I've told you and I know you personally. It was pretty cringy. I think I still have it up with some of the videos. I think I deleted some though. I stopped for a little while after I did that channel. Didn't do YouTube for a while. And then a little while later, about a year, I created my main channel, which is not this one, but the one it's connected to. And I remember uploading, I think, at least 100 videos in about 6 months, and they were really stupid, low production videos. And the main thing I remember is I created this channel. When it first came out, YouTube's policy hadn't changed, and you were still eligible to get monetization even if you had like 10 views, so I had ads on my videos, which was pretty funny. But I remember that, and I deleted most of my old videos, which I kind of regret. I wish I just privated them, but I deleted a lot of them because they were cringy, and at one point I just got sick of them. Now I'm rebuilding, but I kept a few of the really old ones. Anyways, that was my personal experience, and the main things now is just keeping up. Obviously, YouTube's policies changed a lot, and that's very difficult because now, with Article 13 being introduced as well, like, there's a ton of copyright problems, and even if my videos don't have copyrighted content, they can still get taken down, which is a big problem. But the whole thing of video ideas even is hard. Like, it's a lot harder to sit down and think of an idea, plan it out, and record than it is to just go ahead and say, oh, hey, I'm just going to record this real quick. And video making is difficult as well. It's not very difficult, but usually just setting up the cameras in the right spots, making some makeshift camera rigs, and if I record gaming videos, then it can be a little difficult at times to get everything working right. But the main struggle is editing, especially stuff like these podcasts, because I have to go through the audio for the entire thing, process it, cut down pauses, um, quiet spikes in audio so that it doesn't like make a static noise. There's a lot of after effects, and then adding in the music, the background photo effects, all that stuff. It takes a long time, and editing takes usually almost twice as long as the making of the video itself, if not more. And that's why live streams are so appealing. And you guys know on my main channel, I have a ton of live streams because they're just easier to do. All I have to do is go onto the live dashboard, select a title, thumbnail, description, maybe some other things, and then I open my software and click go live, and I'm up. And I have to pull the chat window in the bot, but after that, then I can go for as long as I want, and then when I'm done, it just automatically uploads, and I don't have to worry about editing. And sure, it's raw and stuff, but it works. So it's very very strange the way that works with the whole YouTube policy system. What's weird is I went through this phase, and it was making really short videos that were only like 10 to 12 seconds long, and there was just some random thing. But I went through this phase a few months ago where I didn't want to do anything, and I would think, I want to record a video, but then I would think, I don't really feel like working on one, so I just record something really quick to let people know I'm still working on it, but I just haven't put in the time. And the main reason for that is because the first part of this channel, Mechanic, which I'm not quite sure if that fits the description properly, what I wanted to do, I didn't want to be a gaming channel because there's enough of those out there. I wanted to be both an electronics channel and a gaming one. Not electronics as in like PC stuff and mouse reviews. I actually have a passion for designing and building electronic equipment and devices, which is why I want to be an electrical engineer. And I do that. And I do that for robotics. I do that independently. I do that for team projects. And I teach classes at the high school occasionally. And what I wanted to do was make a channel to sort of document all of those projects for college and just to remember. But I also wanted to do gaming videos because gaming is also something that I enjoy doing. So I figured, why not do this channel? But when I want to make a video, I always think, let's see, spend a few hours to a couple of days working on an electronics project, edit the entire video, and upload it, or just play a game and record it and upload that. And obviously the easier one is to record a game, and maybe, I want to record a game because it's instant gratification. I don't have to put in hours of effort. And so that's why there's such a disproportion in my uploads. And it's very strange to think about. It seems like just a gaming channel. And that's one of the struggles of YouTube, is knowing if you want to make the good content, you're going to have to put in the time. Some people put in hours, some people put in like 10 seconds and get 1,000 views. I think we're going to take an intermission now, and when we get back, I have an interview with a fellow creator. Before I get into the interview, I would like to reveal this podcast's sponsor, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online site and app where you can learn real-world skills and how to do a lot of things, which if you want to do YouTube videos, they have a ton of free courses. well, not free, but a ton of courses where you can learn how to create videos, lighting techniques. You can learn how to edit. You can learn how to do electronics. And I'm not actually sponsored by them. I'd like to point that out. This is one of the criteria for our podcast project. Please don't sue me, Skillshare. Anyways, you can do a lot of that sort of thing with Skillshare. Now, I would like to get into the interview with Blurry. Alright guys, I'm back from the break and the sponsorship, and I'm going to be doing an interview with Blurry, a fellow creator. So, first question I have for you, Blurry, is what has it been like growing your channel?
Well, I'd say it's been pretty tough growing my channel. And finding a video base that will keep up with the upload, consistent video base that'll keep watching every video and be interested in all of them.
Yeah, so like,
that would be my main problem that I still have yet to come to today.
yeah, so like, getting consistent viewers, and sure, when you start your channel, all your friends watch it, it's easy, but getting actual people to consistently come to your channel.
Yeah. And over time, your friends will stop watching and everything, and then it'll be like you're on your own and have to grow by yourself to keep that consistent viewer base.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I see what you mean.
Do. Alright, so the other big thing that I know, at least I deal with a lot difficultly, is content consistency and having a consistent quality standard for your videos.
Oh yeah, and for me it's like trying to keep on top of a good series, and I did one time with a 10-part series which kept growing and taking up views, but ever since then it's been hard to keep a consistent series and consistent views for all of the videos that I've made past that point.
Yeah, except for T-series.
Yeah.
And I haven't really experimented too much with series. A long time ago, a couple of years ago, I did a role play with Daddy Chatty, but that was pretty difficult. It became a hassle to do, and it did get views, not compared to the views I get today, but yeah, it's difficult.
And when you bring up that series, it's personally it's difficult to keep up a series just because of it's kind of gone down to a point of lack of interest anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in doing YouTube anymore, which I still am. It's just harder to find a video you want.
Yeah, especially. I'm sorry.
Because once you reach a certain point, it's like, oh, what should I do for a video today? Oh, this is a good idea. Oh, I already did this. What else should I do? You know?
Yeah, especially I was talking earlier about how I do a lot of electronics videos, and it can be difficult sometimes to want to do an electronics video because I know I need to make them to have diverse content, but it takes hours and hours to create the electronic, and then it takes a few more hours to make the video, and it's just like, okay, well, I can do that, or I can hop on a game and start live streaming and have instantaneous content.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a growing problem with a lot of YouTubers actually, people like PewDiePie and other smaller YouTubers William Osmond is one of them who makes really good content but has a hard time making those videos.
Yeah, especially when everyone on YouTube is obsessed with trends and you want to stick to your original content, but everyone's like, eat a Tide Pod if you want views.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh yeah, if you really want views that bad, then why don't you just go sell it to some company when it when it's hard to even keep it natural on the channel in the first place and try to be yourself on that channel and like keep the views flowing in just by being yourself.
Yeah. So, do you remember the days when you could, and I remember I used to do this back really early on my main channel before I deleted all my content from back then. I used to actually be able to get ads on my videos with like 50 views before the policy change. Did you ever remember that thing? Or...
Yeah, I actually was trying to sign up for that, but I never got the chance because they would just keep denying my requests, like they would never get back to me. And eventually, like I kept requesting over and over, and then I got to this point where it was like, you know, keep trying is like just like too hard. Well, it wasn't too hard. It was just like I could see something in the future coming, and then eventually it did become what I knew was going to happen. And that thing that I knew was going to happen was uh, like they changed their policy.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was they changed the watch time amount that you required to 4,000 hours and needed at least 1,000 subs, which really kind of like, oh, I worked for all this time just to try and get some money out of this kind of dumb thing, and then it just kind of all went down the drain.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. It really, I think what YouTube's trying to do is create a barrier between people who passively have a channel and people who are actually committed to it, which is hard because a lot of people are committed, but no one watches their content because it's not considered trendy.
Yeah, and like a lot of people like Logan Paul also, who just had his dog film. Like they'll get tons of views because just purely because they make stupid content and they're brain dead idiots who don't know how to actually make something interesting for the greater good of YouTube.
Yeah. And another thing I'd like to talk about is collaborations. They're an interesting way to support channels while still creating content.
Yeah, and I think like collaborations, I reached out to a few YouTubers who are down to do it, but ever since like the policy change, when they stopped making money, they just stopped getting back to me over time, and that kind of sucked because that was an actual chance to grow my channel and grow my audience. But then because of the policy change, it kind of just like, you know, oh yeah, you had a dream in mind. Yeah, let's just mess that up for you.
Yeah, and the other thing is, people say you don't do YouTube for the money, you do it for the supporters. But there is, for people not like us, we do it passively, but for people who try to do it professionally, it can be difficult too, because, sure, they do it for the fans, but they need money too, because otherwise, people who are older, who have a job, don't really have the time and hours to put in to something if it's not going to profit.
Yeah. And I think people who PewDiePie are like I'm not trying to knock him or anything, but it's because the mainstream media is taking it so wrongly that they're thinking, oh yeah, this guy is a horrible influence and he's totally a Nazi, and yeah, he's just a terrible person. When he really isn't. He's just trying to do the same thing that all these media companies are doing, and he's just trying to make money, and they're purposely trying to make it harder for him because they can see his success.
Yeah. So, yeah, the thing with PewDiePie too is when you're a YouTuber of that size on the platform, either way you're gonna have people who try to get you in trouble because they see things. I'm sure if we had millions of people watching our videos, people would find little things to, make accusations about stuff.
Yeah. And I think it's just a case of, like,
SOG!
If you're not getting into drama, you're probably never going to grow, which is also one of the many problems with YouTube. It's like, you either have to have drama or you have to be this stupid, cringy, family-friendly toy TV channel that does a lot of just videos on stupid trends. And it's like, oh yeah, Elsa vs. Spider-Man, fidget spinner, bottle flipping, dabbing time.
Yeah, and the other thing, the main concern I have for YouTube is they like to grow channels just to kill them. Like, for example, the whole Minecraft era, when Minecraft was a huge deal, and I remember that was when I really started watching YouTube, was when Minecraft was a big thing. So I watched a ton of Minecraft YouTubers, and I saw them they were making millions of dollars, they had millions of views and fans, and now occasionally I'll look them up to see how they're doing, and they either get like really bad views and are making hardly anything, or they don't even have a channel anymore. So YouTube likes to create these trends, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, this isn't cool anymore, we're going to take this out of the trending and recommendeds, and you're going to become obsolete.
Yeah, and I think that's like a case of, like, that's a good example of that happening would be like Captain Sparkles.
SOG!
He's trying his hardest to get back onto the mainstream, and like, he's pretty much abandoned Minecraft at this point.
Yes!
You can tell in his videos, like, now it's just, oh yeah, let's watch this stupid Reddit video.
Exactly. And I feel like that's horrible because he had a lot of talent in animation and stuff that he used.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, you guys, guess what? I'm gonna make a video that takes me an hour to film and upload, and it's gonna get like 100 views.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a case of him trying to grow out of the whole legacy now. But like, most of these YouTubers who are trying to fall out of that hole are in the inevitable cycle that they can't get out of. And it's like, you're either going to be stuck making stupid, cringy content, or you can keep making what you're making and actually try and have a chance of getting out. But the chances that you do get out are extremely slim.
Yeah. So, Blurry, thank you so much for coming on the podcast for this interview. If you guys want to go check Blurry out, there's a link in the description. And we'll see you later, Blurry. Thank you for coming on
Alright.
today.
See ya.
See ya. So guys, that brings us to the end of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed. We covered a interesting multitude of ideas, and we had that interview at the end. Remember, go check out Skillshare. Again, I'm not actually sponsored by them. Please don't sue me. But go check them out, and I'll see you guys on the next podcast. Goodbye.